Alright, welcome back. Now, today is Thursday, and as every Thursday we try to talk matters business and entrepreneurship. Today is Thursday, and always every Thursday. Okay. I was the rapper back in the day. Okay. You know how we do. Let me do it slow for those of you who didn't catch it. I am not talking fast, it's you listening slow. Today is Thursday, and every Thursday we focus on entrepreneurship, and we try to open your eyes into different areas of business. And today you're talking matters interior design. But I was told there's a difference between design and decorating, and we'll get to talk about that a little bit later on also. When you want to talk to us, the hashtag to use is for breakfast, and the SMS number is 22422. And as always, every Thursday to me Junga na street disciple, aka Yegos Patrick Gunza, ako area code.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
As always, tunakam kumarshal up masoja, asenya mekam kujituma. This time round it's all about sprucing up our living spaces to make sure zinakatik ukikamtani inafanya unashindwa kutoka. Na tuko nasi yenye watakuwa kitu show exactly what does it mean when we talk about interior decoration. And then on the other side, Kerrigo will be also helping us distinguish decoration from interior design and how we can go about making our spaces look
all right. Project Parliament is fine, thank you. Yeah,
well, you pretty much said everything. I mean, we're going to be getting into the world of interior design and decoration. And this morning, I'm with interior designers. Is that the right term?
That's the right term.
Okay, so there's Christian Chunga and Asha Gadwe, who are from a design partnership, and they'll be helping us understand how we can spruce up our, homes. Of course, we had to get Christian, a man, to tell us what colors work in a man's house, and then Asha, a lady, tell us what colors work in our houses. So any questions you might be having, 22422 is the SMS line. We'd want to hear from you, or you can get us on Twitter. The hashtag is Power Breakfast. But I'll now hand you over back to Willis because they have a setup there, and then we'll come back and start that conversation. Willis?
Alright, so I want to talk about wallpapers and more, a lot more. We've learned a few words already, and we'll talk about that now. So we want to we're joined by Dixon. Dixon, maybe introduce yourself more and tell us more about yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Willis. My name is Dixon from Amazing Interiors Limited. A company that specializes with wallpaper, wall mirror, ceiling papers, that is 3D ceiling papers, and generally, actually, we do interior design as a general. Yes. So today, actually, we are here to showcase you a few designs of wallpapers, as you can see down here, and then we will sample actually on these boards here,
right? So
that each and everyone at home actually can be able to know how wallpapers and wall mirrors can look into their spaces. Yes.
And so basically what we're going to do also is to try to walk us through exactly what happens when somebody steps in. What is the process from the time they step in to pick and everything until we get the final product on the wall.
Okay, basically it's very simple because we have different types of clients. Right. Number one, we have a client who know what exactly they want. We have a client who doesn't know what they want. They take you as an interior expert, so they come into the probably the office, and they give you the entire piece of the job to do. So once we get a client who know what they want, it's easy for us because the client just walks in, picks the material, the design they really want, and then we are good with it. And if we have a client who doesn't actually know anything about interior design, then it's our work as interior designers to make sure that the client gets the very best in terms of color scheming, in terms of the very best design for each room, and then we do the installation for them as well.
So basically they'll come and then they'll go through a catalog like this?
Yeah, actually this is the catalog. The moment someone comes into the office, we have different types. Actually, this is just one of them. We take them through the several designs. We have over 200 designs of different types of wallpapers. Once we take them through, then the client decides.
We're just trying to hold this up so at least the guys can see
the catalog.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, this is the catalog. So actually the clients decide exactly what they really want, and then after deciding, then we actually take to the next level. The next level is actually making sure the product is on the wall.
Is what they want dependent on like maybe the walls they have at home?
Number one, actually, the very first thing to consider in interior design is the exact space.
Okay.
So what is in the space, the furniture, the accessories, the kind of lighting, the kind of ceiling they have. So by doing that, actually, we are able to advise the client on exactly what will be the very best for the space. So it's very, very simple. Actually, interior design is not hard. It looks hard, but in real sense, it isn't hard.
Yes.
Yeah. So once they come in, and then it's easier for us to actually get them through. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. And also maybe then we can also, before we go a little bit further, also toss it over to Kirigo, also to just get that conversation going as well. Kirigo?
All right, thank you very much, Willis. And like we said, we're with Christian and Asha. They're both interior designers from Design Partnership. Sorry, guys. Thank you for joining us. Maybe we can start by differentiating between interior decorating and interior design. You know, and maybe I can start with you, Asha.
Okay, first is a big misconception about interior designers and interior decorators. We believe that interior design is more of a science. It starts from the space planning. It's a lot more than colors and curtains, which is the basic assumption. So you'd start, like, for example, if you have a space, you start with the planning. How would you arrange your furniture around the space to maximize the area, the circulation areas? It's a balance of creating all that stuff. Then you go back down to the curtains now, and then you go back to the design of the ceiling, the flooring, like picking materials. A lot of materials are a key factor in interior design, and color as well. But you see, a majority of us Kenyans live in rented spaces, so the house we're going into pretty much, you know, is set. The window is going to look that side for the rest of our lives, as long as we live in this house, you know. Ideally, you'd have wanted, let's say, you'd have wanted the window to be on this side, but it's on this side. So there's also that aspect. Do you think about that? Kiriwa is living in a rented house. It's not particularly her space. She didn't buy it, she didn't build it, she's renting it out.
Yeah, definitely. Like, for example, of course the windows are static and the doors, but now there's a way you can arrange your furniture to work in a better way. Like, for example, immediately you get in, you find in some houses people crowd furniture just because maybe you like a lot of furniture. You'd
like hosting many people, I mean.
No.
That could be one of the things.
Yeah, but there's a way you can arrange, for example, like arranging the furniture along the walls just so that you free up more space. That's one example where you can maximize. And working around the existing features, the windows, all that, and now knowing how, like, for example, windows are good in bringing light, maximizing now you get natural light, balancing the light levels from artificial lights, creating different ambiances. For example, there's a main light from above which is given by the landlord. You can create accent lightings with lampshades here there, so that you have different, you're creating different atmospheres.
Now, Christian, as you can see, what's going on the other side is we're having wallpaper being plastered on our sample wall, and it's become like a hit, like a trend. Everyone is doing wallpaper. Why do you think it has become a trend?
Well, basically it's pocket friendly.
Pocket friendly?
It's pocket friendly. It's easy to install, and you have a huge variety of, you know, finishes or even just schemes to play around with. For example, if you're looking for the kind of you know, wood texture or a brick-like texture, again, it saves the client some money having to actually buy the real material, because wallpaper comes to a point whereby it's so realistic that you could think it's the real thing. So you find it becomes such a trend-setting finish that, again, it's cheap, it's easy to put up, and it gives you that peace of mind at the end of the day. Because considering, like, for example, you've mentioned that you're in a rented space, it's already fixed, and as Asha's put it, you know, you can just accessorize at the end of the day. You have your soft furnishings, which are your, you know, throw cushions, your rugs, your carpets. You have your furniture, again, your sofas, your chairs, and you have your lamps. floor lamps, ceiling lamps, the whole thing. But at the end of the day, interior design is more of a creative profession, whereby we try to understand the behavior of a person or a group of persons in order to develop functional spaces.
Okay.
So it cuts across both residential as well as other areas.
Commercial.
Yes.
All right. I'd want to hear your thoughts in regard to being creative in the house, man and woman, right? Women tend to be a bit adventurous. They can paint their walls, but a man he's okay with his white walls. You know, he's fine with that. And men lean towards the dull colors, the earth colors, gray, navy blue, black, brown, like it's a scheme. I'm just wondering, is there a rule somewhere that says a man cannot have a red wall? A man cannot have an orange wall?
Actually, there's no rule. It's just the perception that we've had as far as, you know, design can go back. But I think it's also just, you know, the nature of us men. We like to be a bit laid back, and, you know, some or most might be conservative. But at the end of the day, really, you're at liberty to explore the palette. You can have a red wall, a screaming red wall, or you could have a bit of a muted kind of finish, maybe burgundy, which is almost like a maroon. So at the end of the day, it's really how you play around with the color. Some men really like it earthy. Yeah, maybe the strongest color would be one of the darker browns, so to speak. Something that they pick from their wardrobes. But you'd find other men who are very, you know, explosive, so to speak, very adventurous. So you'd find they really put strong colors in their homes.
We'll be joining Patrick now, but Asha, do you agree with what he says, or?
In fact, I'd like to demystify the fact that people we categorize color in terms of male and female gender. I believe that's not the case, because for me, I prefer whites and blacks. I'm a minimalist. But now I think it's just a misconception that people have that ladies are colorful and men are not. I think it goes down to personalities and preferences, and it's individual. So that's why I think it's our responsibility as interior designers to study the client. There's a bit of client psychology, know what they like, know their preferences, and now try to give a design according to that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's now go back to Patrick and Willis, who are fixing wallpaper.
We have already actually fixed a portion of a wall. When we began the show, everything was just plain, as you can see behind us. But already we do have something that's happened here. Perhaps Dixon, you can tell us, how did we come to that particular stage where now the wall is partially covered by that decorative paper?
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, as you can see on the wall here, we have a wallpaper. This is actually called DF, or the Bubble Boy, if you like.
I like the Bubble Boy.
If you look closely, actually, the bubbles running up and down and patterns, and actually the most hard part in wallpaper installation, the making sure that the patterns go hand in hand from one panel to the next panel. So actually, we want to showcase you how we will do the next panel, so that once you look at it, you don't see pieces of wallpapers on the wall. Just see like a whole block of, you know, wallpaper on the wall. Yeah.
So this is the glue that was put on it, right?
Yeah. Actually, this is the glue we normally use. Actually, it's a starch-based glue. Okay. The beauty about this glue is that for people who are actually in rental houses, it's good because one, it doesn't corrode the wall. It doesn't affect the painting. It's something that once probably you're shifting from your house to maybe to the next place, you can actually remove the wallpaper, and the walls will remain the same as they were initially. And then the beauty is, the other good thing with wallpaper is that once you remove it properly, you can actually reuse it somewhere else. So that's another thing about it.
And when it comes to removing the wallpaper, perhaps when you want to move houses, does it also call for experts like you to come on board so that the same can be done, or I as an individual can just go about removing it from the wall?
It's actually very easy to remove a wallpaper. You don't need an expert coming for you to remove the wallpaper. So all what you need is just wet cloth and maybe water, and make sure you wet the edges properly. Give it like 10 minutes, then strip it off.
Yeah. And when it comes to rooms where we have high temperatures, I'm looking at perhaps kitchens or fireplaces. Can we still attain the same quality of wallpaper given the high temperatures, or is there special treatment that's normally accorded to areas like this?
It's a good question actually, which normally most clients ask. You look at the wallpapers which were there like 10, 15 years ago are very different from the wallpapers we have right now. The wallpapers that were there were just very paperish, let me just say very paperish,
right.
Just like the normal paper. But nowadays the wallpapers are actually coated with vinyl, which is a PVC, which is waterproof, which is moisture proof, and wallpapers can be done even in bathrooms, leave alone the kitchen. So where there is steam, where there is water, wallpapers can do.
They can still survive the
they can actually survive.
Okay, and it's one thing to have to wish to have your walls decorated, is a separate thing to afford that. When it comes to the cost of decorating our walls, how much paper kai you could make sure wall kai e portion imekuwa covered, it only costs how much?
This is like what portion?
Normally wallpapers come in rolls. Actually this is the standard roll, which is 10 meters by half a meter, 5 square meters to be precise. So we normally sell a roll at 3,000. That is inclusive of installation. So we have people who come and they want to buy the roll without installation, which is 2,500. But once we do installation for you, it's 3,000. So, and we have a scenario whereby we have clients actually who are so interested with making the interiors look good, but at the same time their pockets, you know, the pockets, they're not okay pocket-wise. So what we do is we have a program at Amazing Interiors where you come, you talk to us, the amount that you're able to raise and the area coverage you want, we assess, and then we kind of give you, we do the interiors for you, and then we take you on a slow payment basis. Say like monthly you're able to pay this amount of money say every month,
right?
Which is easy actually, because at the end of the day everyone to live good, everyone wants a
beautiful,
nice, exactly,
yes, beautiful
in their home.
Okay. And so like you're saying about like you did this, you found out the space, you found out the wall, and somebody asked, I saw, like once like you remove this, is it, can you use it again, or once you remove it, you come back to Dixon and say, okay, I removed the other, let's get another?
The beauty about wallpaper is actually that once you properly remove it, you know, some people will just remove it you know, nataka kwenda. So it's actually very easy for you to remove it properly, and once you remove it properly you can reuse it. But the problem is the challenges that we've had is whereby someone has actually managed to remove it, and but the next space they are going into is maybe bigger than the space they were in. Most of the Kenyans actually upgrade. So when you're moving from a smaller house to a bigger house, then it becomes a challenge. It means that you have to come back to Dixon again. You need maybe the same design of the exact wallpaper. But at the same time, it will save in terms of cost, because it doesn't really mean you'll have to buy the entire, you know, square meters that is required for that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Willis, for that, and Patrick. And we're here with Asha and Christian. And I want us to run some images on our screen so that we can have that discussion. I'm just wondering, do I have another option when it comes to wallpaper? Because for me, that looks very overbearing. You know, I'm feeling, that's too much for my house. Are there any other options? Like we can see there, we can actually get wallpaper that's plain.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's available in the market.
In fact, the really advantageous thing about wallpaper is its wide variety of looks or finishes rather. You can have a subtle look, you can have a very plain look, which maybe would appeal to the gentleman. You could have a very bold look, some with motifs, others without.
Like that? That grey?
That grey, even from where we're seeing it, would look like a flat color, but maybe up close it's embossed, it's textured, and you know, as you know, because of the installation process, again, it looks very seamless. You think of it as a color or a paint finish at the end of the day. that again is another very strong yet subtle image, because it blends very well with the accessories, being the artworks, as well as the furniture as well. So there's a whole range of wallpaper that you could choose from.
I don't know, did you get a memo that those are my colors? Because I'm really liking what you said. I'm really liking. Okay, guys.
That looks pretty
yeah, even that looks really nice, and especially if we did it on one wall, you know, just one wall of the house and make it the focal point of the house. Let's move away from wallpaper and let's talk about flooring, because floors tend to be a deal breaker for some. Of course, many would like parquet floors. Those are the wooden floors, and which are available. But what are the other options? And we're thinking about someone who is renting a space. You know, I've come into this house and I'm not really liking the floors. What can I do to kind of jazz them up? Asha?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of restrictions in a rented house, especially the fact that you are supposed to return the house to how it was originally before you came in. So most people in such instances end up using floor rugs and carpets all over the place. And I think advice to all landlords, please, when you're designing your houses, have the same floor tile all through. Not there's this trend that's coming up that in a living room you have a different tile, in the lobby there's a different tile, in the kitchen. It ends up being very cluttered and very confused. So it's better of having one finish, or at least mixing a few finishes, than now topping up with the rugs, because now it would help the individual coming to take the house be able to set according to their tastes. The plain ITs, they can decide whether they want it to retain it as a plain area or to add color and add all these accessories.
Okay. There was a question I'd asked Christian. When we go back to the village, everyone's floor is made of red oxide. You know, maybe we can start by understanding why we use that. Is it because it's the cheapest, it's easily available, or because of the climate? Why?
I think basically because, number one, it's very chemical resistant, but also it's a very cheap option. If you look down at it. But you know, even some of the homes in Orchard, they're a bit up there.
Yeah, there are those that are.
And you want to go away from that kind of finish. Sometimes they leave it as a screeded floor, just the bare cement, or again they paint it with oxide, or even it's a terrazzo finish, you know, the ones with the speckles like you see in wash areas. If you really want to jazz up the home, so to speak, and you want that look and feel of maybe what you've been seeing back in the city, whether it's, you know, the parquet or the timber flooring, there are also tiles that have that kind of look, even the texture. And if laid properly, as we were seeing in the images, if laid properly, again you get that look and that feel as if it's the real product. So it really ties down to, again, back to what we discussed initially. It's, you know, a creative profession. It's how do you play around with what is available as far as the material palette to meet the client's needs.
Okay, I think, but there's also fear of falling down and breaking a leg over tiles. I think that's usually another reason as to why.
Yeah. The other thing maybe I'll just pass it on to Asha, is vinyl flooring. Vinyl flooring is a PVC. It's a kind of plastic that still it's a bit softer. It's a bit easy on the knees at the end of the day, and very easy to clean. And maybe Asha can explain a bit about it.
Asha?
Yeah, materials is like such a large topic in interior design. For example, we have tiles, yes, but there are very many different types of tiles. There's granito, which are and porcelain, which are very high end, to ceramic tiles, which are the affordable type. And there's a non-slip type of floor, there's a stone finish, there's a gloss finish. So you should be able to know, like, the non-slip should be the best for flooring, so that to avoid such accidents. And also bathroom tiles should be non-slip. For the walls, you can do a gloss finish. There's a whole range now apart from just color. There's a quality, there's a full body tile that's stronger versus just a coating. It's a whole new topic.
Okay, interesting. So we have quite a variety of things that we can choose from when it comes to. The bathroom is also a very important, you know, area of the house, but then again, if you're living in a rented house, it becomes a bit difficult to do a few changes here and there. I'm just wondering, what are some of the additions you would tell me to, put in my space for it to look nicer, for it to look, funky, without really altering the original look?
Well, as far as, it's a rented space, you have your confinements, your restrictions, but, as Asha has clearly explained, you have a whole variety of finishes. And now that, we are plugging for wallpaper, so to speak, again, there's also water-resistant wallpaper that you can have as an accent wall. You have your ceramic tiles that you could use. They're really good quality ceramic tiles that you could use. And then maybe just accessorizing a bit, because you really don't want to spend so much considering...
Yes, on a house that's not...
On a house that's not yours. But again, really, you have your colors, you have your tiles. Again, there's a whole spectrum that meets any kind of budget, as well as your wall treatment, your surface finishes. So
I tend to see, and this is usually in pictures, never come across in someone's house, people putting potted plants in bathrooms.
That is a trend and a half.
Yeah?
In fact, I think Ash is working on a project whereby it's one of the really accentuated pieces as far as washrooms are concerned. And I think maybe she can...
Yeah, just quickly explain to us.
There's, I think it's called bringing the outdoors in.
The mic?
Yeah, the outdoors in. And I think it just adds nature. It brings it, because like most of our houses, some of our houses don't have a lot of light and ventilation, and you can't see the greenery outside. I guess it's just a way of bringing the outdoors in. It makes the place more alive, and I think humans always connected to nature, and I guess that's why nature, natural things, for example stone, timber, they'll always be the most natural and timeless things to use.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's...
Okay, so it's all just bringing nature into the homestead. Yes. Okay, we hand you over back to Willis and Patrick, who are, on the what wallpaper vibe. Yes. This morning you're on the wallpaper. I can see you're creating a coastal feel. Yeah.
Tunaenda Mombasani sasa. Tunaenda kwa macho. Kwa macho, tunaenda kwa macho. All right. So these are different set. Dixon, maybe you can explain to us.
Yeah. This is actually a wall mirror.
Sorry, a what?
A wall mirror.
Okay. Mirror.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a wall mirror. And I say the land.
Yeah. Which is actually a 3D emission of scenes or sceneries. Could be jungle, could be beach, could be mountains. Actually, we could actually even customize your own family pictures and put them on the wall. Yeah.
How does it distinguish from the wallpaper? Because me and Willis can't tell the difference between this wallpaper mirror and glue being applied and being stuck on the wall.
Actually,
how does a mural separate from a wallpaper?
The difference between a mirror and a wallpaper actually is very simple. When a wallpaper won't give you a 3D illusion, it's actually just patterns, maybe plain colors, sitting for me for painting. But as that wall mirror is a very different category completely, because it gives you a feel or a scenario whereby painting maybe the wall arts cannot actually achieve on a bigger wall. And then the difference actually is these ones are customized. We customize them according to the size of your wall. Unlike wallpapers, which you have to buy in rolls. So these ones are customized to fit your wall.
Okay.
So if probably you're shifting and you're going to another place, a bigger place, definitely you'll have to look for another wall mirror.
Okay. And we do have people who are doing it themselves, right? They want to buy the wallpapers and the murals, perhaps custom make them and then fix them themselves. But we do have counterfeit products in the market. What would be your advice in trying to know what a genuine product is and how to identify that which is a counterfeit product?
To be very honest, there are so many counterfeit products in the market at the moment, and for wallpapers have very different textures. Actually, looking at the catalog, you can actually see the different types of textures that the wallpaper has. So most of the counterfeit wallpapers are wallpapers probably printed on very weak papers which are not vinyl coated, and which actually after installation will, you know, start falling off the wall in a month's time or so. So we have actually two different types of wallpaper. We have the one which we use for real estate, and then we have a ceremonial wallpaper, which is actually very common in Kenya. Ceremonial wallpapers are wallpapers that maybe you have your kid's birthday today, or maybe over the weekend, and all what you need is probably have the house decorated for the weekend only, and then after a week or so, you don't need the paper on the wall. So that's the ceremonial wallpaper, which isn't long lasting. Unlike the other one, which is normally used for construction and decoration of houses, which has durability of 18+ years on the wall. They are washable, you know, it's something that you can clean if you have kids who are artistic on the wall, drawings and stuff like that. So
is there a difference in price between those two?
Yeah, sure, there is difference in pricing, because for wallpapers it's 3,000 per roll, and the roll covers 5 square meters, unlike wall mirrors, which is 2,500 per square meter. Yeah, that's not the difference between.
All right. And what are some of like the challenges that you face in this particular industry?
Actually, in interior design, definitely there are challenges. Challenge number one actually will be a client, you know, definitely kuna ile mnagombana na client anataka hii, and you know the best thing for them is actually this one. Yes. So that's one of the challenges actually we encounter as interior designers. And for wallpapers, we've the biggest challenge actually we have is that not so many people actually know about wallpapers or wall mirrors. So maybe someone will stumble on them on the internet, and by the time they get to understand what this really is, you know, it takes them a lot of time.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And speaking of that, you know, how did I talk about interior design consultancy and the importance of doing that, you know, because I could want the most beautiful house, but if I don't know how to go about it, then you guys come in, right? That's where you come in. Now, like you said, there are those who come and have asked you for your help, but then whatever you give them, they're like, no, I don't want this, I don't want this. So you end up having this back and forth. How do you deal with that?
Okay, I think one of the important things that we have is a contract. Yeah, we have a contract which stipulates that, for example, you'll agree you can only allow 3 revisions to the design. And what we try to do to avoid that is, before actually going to site and moving in, is that you sit down, develop your concept, have ideas, get to talk to the client gives the feedback, and now when you're going to site, you're like almost 100% sure that you're not going to change.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then there's also the I don't know whether it happens to you, but I know of a few people who 3 years of living in the same house, and though it is rented, they're already bored of the color, you know, the paint that they're done, the furniture. In your world, ideally, how often should I spruce up my house? And not necessarily a complete paint job, but just, you know, changing the way things look. Maybe the TV is this side, we can now turn it this side. You know, after how long should we consider changing how our house looks? Christian?
Well, it really depends. You know, as a client, you could change it every often, or you could not change it at all. Again, it begs down to, again, the type of house. If you find your house is a bit more flexible, in the sense that you can play around with a few things here and there, then might as well go ahead and change up a few things. But if you find you're constrained, but still want to change, then we look at a term, I think, you know, a design lingo, accessorize, whereby we look at accessories, and accessories fall under such items as, you know, lampshades. Yeah.
What we had seen earlier, like you can just have lampshades and place them around the house.
Soft furnishings. Yeah, these are what they call soft furnishings.
What's the difference between accessories and soft furnishings?
Well, it's the same. Accessories are soft furnishings. It's part of soft furnishings.
Okay.
But it's just that in our profession, we really try to differentiate, because when it comes to looking for these materials, we're able to engage the supplier a bit more direct and say, hey, we want soft furnishings of this kind, and this is the schedule. But really, in layman's terms, it's your rugs, it's your throws, it's your scatter cushions, just as the name suggests, soft furnishing. And accessories could be your lampshades, your again, ceiling lamps, floor lamps. Even, we also use the word equipment, where it could be your TVs, your fridges, your cookers, your bits and bits of crockery. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of planning, a lot of coordination with the client, a lot of engagement, a lot of concept development. So at the end of the day, we're looking on paper that, yes, this is what you want, vis-a-vis your client brief, whether you're constrained or you have the luxury of flexibility. And now we're moving on to the next stage, whereby we want to play around with some of the elements.
Okay. So what I've picked from you guys is throws, lampshades, scatter cushions, even my TV could be used to make my house look more appealing, more exciting, more fresh, more friendly, and
even artworks as well.
Sorry?
Artworks as well.
Even artwork, paintings and pictures could be used. But then there's also the argument that I cannot drill on on the walls.
It comes back again, it's a creative profession, and you really need to think outside the box. For example, you could string fish wire from one corner to the next. Fish wire looks very invisible from a distance, and then you could hang your paintings in panel pieces or just one large thing, and at the end of the day,
thought of that.
you don't have to kill your landlord for that.
Yes. So fish lines, never thought of that. Thank you for that idea. Yeah, so it's all about being creative and thinking outside the box, like you said. Think outside the box. Asha, is there anything you want to add on before we...
Yeah, I think a major concern is the cost. Most people always run away from interior design thinking that it's a high-end thing. I think there's smart ways, like for example, the example he's given, you could work around that. Also art pieces. A smart way you could do is take a cloth that is printed, or example wallpaper, and frame it, and that becomes your art piece. Yeah, or just take a blank color and frame it, and that becomes your art piece. And I think a lot of us have a lot of collector items, display things. Just have them on a nice shelf and work around that. And another trend also is you have your standard sofa, which I'm sure you can't change every now and then, but have throws that you change, so you can have different colors this time with different prints together
according
with
to the weather, whatever makes you happy then. Okay, I get you. Yeah, season. All right. Okay, Willis, let's come back to you for feedback.
Yes, so we're using the hashtag for some questions that are coming in. First of all, somebody is asking to ask you, Dixon, about are there kids wallpapers with cartoons?
That's a very good question actually, Willis. With kids wallpapers, we actually have kids wallpapers with cartoons, and but over the years actually we've reduced the number of kids wallpapers with cartoons. Reason being, we've had scenarios whereby probably a client walks in and they purchase a kids wallpaper with cartoons. We go and do the installation. 6 months or a year down the line, the same clients come again, and Dixon, my kid says that they are not in love with this kind of cartoon. They need something different. You see, so what we normally do is we actually have the kids color that we normally do the installation. And once we do the kids color, then we do kids favorite stickers. So if the kid actually outgrows the kind of the cartoon or the kind of sticker that is there, rather than actually doing the entire wall again, you just have to do away with the stickers, not the entire wallpaper, which is expensive.
And then there's also another person here who is asking at Sunday_J254, saying he's an interior designer and he's wondering how he can break through in the market. He's asking if he can join the team.
Okay. If an interior designer, actually, the very best thing that I'll tell him or her is passion. The first thing is passion. Because without the passion to wake up and work on the client's project, then you're not an interior designer. So passion, persistent, just do exactly what you love. And about joining our team, actually, he can email us. hr@amazinginteriors.co.ke, and then we will give him the feedback.
Sanjay, kazi kwako.
Yeah, pia hivi kuna another viewer called Brian Kimani from Thomi who's asking morning for breakfast. I'm asking which university offers the best course in interior designing. Well, Christian, a tough one there, right?
How much is the school part? No.
Yeah, by the way, that one as well. No, just kidding. Personally, I studied at UON, and even Ash as well. We're good friends. There's also Maseno, which again, this field is very small, so you get to see a lot of people you know from different schools, as well as
the colleges. There's BIFA.
There's BIFA as well. BIFA is very, very art oriented.
Buru Institute of Fine Arts, yeah.
Very, very art oriented. But if you're looking for a solid degree, University of Nairobi. University.
Okay, we also do have another viewer from Mombasa who's asking, do these guys have an office in Mombasa? I would love to work with them.
Who? This guy? Okay, both of you guys. Yeah, where are your offices?
Our offices are along Forest Road.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can contact us at info@designpartnership.co.ke. Yeah.
We'll be able to work together. Alright, and you guys, Dixon?
Actually, in Mombasa, we have a technician who is based there. So what we normally do is once we have a very active online platform actually on Facebook, Amazing Interiors Limited, over 76,000 followers. So what you can do actually, once you get in touch with us, with the team in Nairobi, we take you through step by step online. On the designs that you can select. Once the designs have been selected, we send the material to you, and then we contact our technician in Mombasa who comes and does the installation.
Okay, the other one is Lucy from East London. Basically, how can I get their contacts, and if I need their services rather? I think basically contacts. What are the contacts of the interior decoration and design, please? Add on the screen. Can I get their telephone numbers? Because most people just asking how they can get
in touch.
Christian, Asher, Dixon, and the team, and they've just explained that.
So we have at the back there what is
mirror. The mirror.
Mirror. Yes, mirror. So that's how it looks like, and that's the final product.
Interesting. Asher, where would you advise me to put that?
Before putting it, first I'd look at all that is in your house.
Okay.
Yeah, just so that it complements.
But I want to have a sunrise. I mean, the sun in my house. I want to feel like I'm at the coast.
Yeah, but you need to see what's around, because otherwise your room will end up being cluttered if there's all this competition from your furniture, all that. So you look at everything as a whole. I think that's where the interior design consultancy comes in.
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess it's up to every person's wish to.
And I'm assuming this other one, now that we have it on one side of the wall, everything else then has to be neutral if I have such a piece of wallpaper, right? This one, this ring bubbly setup.
Yes, ideally yes, because wallpaper is mostly as an accent. It's just to provide some little oomph as far as the collective design is concerned. Whereas if you want to keep things a bit more neutral, maybe you could have two or so walls, but with a very subtle approach.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, if I could go back and answer whoever was asking about university, where is the best place to study? I think it's up to your personal initiative, really. You could get all the information you can from out there, but there's a lot more work that you do as an individual, just doing a lot of research. There's everything online nowadays. Yeah. So
okay. Final words, guys, as we come to the end?
Well, it's clear, and we really appreciate that. Yes, there's a fine line between interior design and interior decoration, but at the end of the day, it's more like a very collective effort. For example, us as designers, as much as we now collect the client brief, if you're the client for that matter, we now begin to engage the likes of Dixon and everyone else in that field to begin that interior design process. But at the end of the day, interior designers can also decorate. We can design, we plan, we do the whole processing together. But also we tag team together with the likes of for Dixon. Because again, they help us, develop that spectrum as far as finishes. not just wallpaper but everything else as far as we can accessorize the house. And again, it becomes a very collective effort.
Asha?
I think I just encourage everyone to embrace design because it describes you. Once I get into your house, I would know what kind of person you are. It's a sort of marketing gimmick, I guess. So just embrace design.
Embrace design. I like that. All right. Willie Sigunza?
Yeah, before we actually wind up, kuna wazito wili ndio amekuwa akipimpa hizi walls. Labda tu help me with the market. Yeah. Labda tu tuambie tu jina na kazi ambayo unaifanyaga.
Mimi naitwa Samson Mwenda. Kazi nimefanyaga hii interiors nimeifanya kwa mwaka moja na naona ni kazi inaniendelesha sana.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Patia mwenzako hapo.
Mimi kwa majina najulikana kama Master. Yeah.
Master Chef.
Nafanya na Amazing Interior. Sasa ni mwaka nafikiri wa 3. Na ni kazi naipenda. Isha nipeleka mahali kwingi ambapo singejua. Na nashukuru, naomba wateja watupe kazi.
Asante. Iko sawa really.
All right, that's good. Of course, that is all the time we have for today. We say a big thank you to Amazing Interiors, and like I said, you can get in touch with them on Facebook and the likes. And now to spruce our spaces. I wouldn't say living area, but basically the different spaces that we are in. And thank you so much for the feedback. I know we couldn't get to read all of them, but thank you for talking to us on the hashtag for breakfast and also our SMS line 22422. So we come to the end of the show. Again, asanteni sana. Jina langu ni Willie Saburu, reminding us always that successful people look like you, and of course the great Manchester United.
Thank you very much. Mimi napenda history, lakini as always nitawaambia tu, it's always good to bring your experience into your rooms. So sikako kama unacheza pia kufanya vitu kama hizi, kalenda bado zo wake. Your design.
Alright, bye guys. Have a fantastic Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. You know, it's Friday. You know how we do it here on the show. If you don't, tune in from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yes, it's Friday tomorrow, just in case you're wondering. We'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Design partnership. Sorry, thank you for coming. Dixon, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate. Goodbye. Have a good day.